Hello everyone. Hope you are healthy, safe, feeling great and are eager to continue our lessons about listening part of our exam. We've talked about main characteristics of the test and also discussed particular features of creating listening tasks. We worked out the strategy and outlined the easy to follow listening algorithm to self-practice so far. Well, the day X has already come. Don't worry, not now. You still have time to get ready. And now let's imagine this situation. You are having your exam just now. What to do, what not to do, how to behave, that is the topic for our lesson today. Our lesson will be divided into 3 parts today. The first part will be devoted to your being at the test, you're doing tasks at the test. The second part will be much shorter and it will be focused on some useful tips to use for preparation. And the third one, finally, I will provide some helpful links for your exam preparation. By the end of the lesson, you will be able to understand and follow our practical algorithm of doing listening exam tasks and develop your listening skills, of course, by doing activities and using effective exam strategies and techniques. How to do the listening task successfully? You remember the scheme, our stages. First of all, the pre-listening stage, then while listening, and of course, after listening stage. Look at the screen. Here you can see the example of task number 1. Here you can see some pictures and the whole instruction for 6 first questions. To follow our strategy, you remember the first one is read the instruction, the second one read the task itself, then underline the keywords and predict the context and the content. And remember, yesterday I shared so-called listening success rule, eyes before ears. I like this, that is my favorite rule. So, the moment you are allowed to open your book, your test book, don't waste any second. Try to look at the pictures and read the instructions, read the task. Follow the pre-listening stage precisely. In this way, your chances to success will be increased tremendously, about 35 or 40%, as the recent research says. So, the first stage is read the instruction. The instruction is listen to the speaker for question 1 to 6, choose the correct answer. So that is a multiple choice question. And also read the question itself. And rule number 3 is find out the keywords. Let's find out where the keyword is. What will the visitors see last? The keywords are see last. See last. Okay. And now we need to predict useful vocabulary. Look at the pictures. What can you see? Picture A is a racing car. Picture B is some jewelry. And picture C is maybe pictures, maybe paintings, maybe photos. We don't know what's that, we just predict, right? Okay. Now, after predicting, you get ready to do while listening activities. The 3 steps are be concentrated, don't panic, and make notes. When deciding on the answer, there are certain things you will need to remember to do. The answers can be at the start, in the middle, or at the end of each recording. Be careful with this. They might try to trick you by putting what could be the answer at the start of the recording, when the key information is at the end. Because the answers will always be visual pictures, this might make it sound very easy, childish stuff, But no, however, you will have to pay attention to the details in each small picture. So, let's move on. Here is our task. Now, listen to the recording carefully and try to find the correct answer.
Now everyone, follow me into the museum. This room is where the ancient jewellery is displayed. Some fantastic pieces here. And next door are paintings of rock stars by the artist Ben Soper. We'll visit that at the end of the tour for the talk I'm going to give you about them. But before that, I'll take you into the garden where you can have a look at the old racing car we've got there. It was generously given to us by a famous racing team when the museum was built.
Well, have you decided what the answer is? After listening, here you can see our after listening strategy for preparing for their exam. We have 5 steps to follow. Check the correct answers, analyze your mistakes, confirm correct answers, summarize your involvement, and focus on linguistic features of the text. Let's think. Can we cover everything from here? I think no. We'll come to this a little bit later. I'm sure you realized then that the answer is C. Let's look at this script, the tape script. Were we right? We predicted jewelry, it was mentioned, paintings, they were mentioned at all, and racing car, yes. And the answer is that at the end of the tour. Do you see where the answer is? Not at the end of the recording, just in the middle of it. So you have to be very attentive to figure out the right answer. So, let's move on, and after doing this task at the exam, we should remove 3 points. And at the exam, as while listening activity, we may do only 2. Make your final decision about the correct answers and copy the answers onto the answer sheet. Okay, let's move on to the second part of task 1. This part has 3 multiple choice questions, and you will hear individual short recordings for every question. You have to listen to the recordings and choose the correct answer, A, B, or C, for each question. And you will need to listen and to identify specific information and detailed meaning. Here is the typical question from exercises 4 to 6. You will hear 2 friends talking about a concert they have been to. They agreed that the organization was poor, the performance was good, the tickets were expensive. Rule number 1, read the instruction, done. Read the task, done. Now let's pay attention to key words. Where the key words are? And they are here. They agreed. They agree, it means they both. They think the same. Okay, now let's predict the context. The organization was poor. It might be poor, might be not. What are excuse me. Okay. So, instead of poor, we can find great, excellent, astonishing, brilliant, thrilling, whatever, amazing. Instead of good, we can hear poor or disappointing. And instead of expensive, they might be not cheap, foreign cheap. After you've predicted everything, you are ready to listen now. Here is the recording.
What a great concert! I listened to that band a lot, but I'd never seen them live before.
Me neither. But why didn't they play their greatest hits, especially if you think what we paid to get in?
I liked what they did, though. As for the price, it was definitely more than I'd normally be willing to pay.
And the organisers didn't do a very good job. It was awful waiting so long for the main act to start.
Don't blame the organisers. It's simply that the band hadn't arrived. There was nothing they could do about that.
Well, so what the correct answer is? Let's figure it out. Here is the whole recording. The question was about the organization. One person thinks it was poor, but another thinks it was okay. The performance was good. One person agrees it was really good, but another thinks, no, not that. And the tickets were expensive, the last option. Let's find the answer. As for the price, it was definitely more than I'd normally pay. And the other person said that I'd normally willing to pay, and especially we'd pay to get it. Two people agreed with that. Okay, let's move on. Here we can see the number 3 task. We skip number 2 task because yesterday we paid a great attention to number 2, and now we'll move to number 3 task. It is a big, long recording, and usually there are 5 multiple choice questions, like this one, number 12. So let's work as usually. We have pre-listening stage. We need to find out, read the instruction first. Done. Read the tasks. Let's read. What's the aim of the podcast? To let people know what to expect in an interview, to give listeners advice on how to succeed at interviews, and to explain how people often fail interviews. The thing is, what is the key word? I think the key word is the aim. What is the aim, the main thing? Let's check. Yes. Then let's think about lexical or grammatical paraphrases. What can we use instead of expect? Anticipate. Instead of succeed, to be successful. And instead of fail, we may use break down or lose. Let's move to the next question. Which of the following is true according to the speaker? What about the keyword? The keyword is true. What is true according to the speaker? What about our variants of questions? Let's find the synonyms. Instead of important, we may use essential, not important, unessential, inessential, unnecessary, or, if it's okay, essential. What about relaxed? Calm, carefree, or not relaxed, worried, or troubled. Next one. How many key stories should you be prepared to speak about in the interview according to the speaker? There are 3 answers, and they are numbers. Be very careful with the numbers while listening this part of recording. 10, 3 or 4, or 1. And here the keyword is key stories. Key stories. Next one. What is the most important on the day of the interview? Where's the keyword? Maybe the most important and the day of the interview, this day. To be prepared, to be authentic, or to focus on the interview. What might we use instead of prepared? To get ready. What about authentic? Real, to be yourself. And what about focus on the interview? be concentrate or think about that. And the last question in this task is, when speaking to the interviewer, it's important to find common interest. What does it mean, common interest? Hobbies or pastimes. Next one is entertain them. What does it mean to entertain? To amuse or not to be serious. And impress them. It means affect or thrill. Here you can see the whole thing, all the 5 questions in one place. And here we will listen to the recording.
Hello everyone and welcome back to our podcast on life skills. Today we are going to be talking about going to interviews, either for jobs or for academic programs like universities. These are some of the most important, intimidating conversations we can have with people, and this is also one of the times when you need to be at your most confident and most successful. So what do? Well, the first thing that we need to do is keep things in perspective. Before going to the interview, imagine yourself at 90 years old. You are going to look back at important things, times with friends, life experiences, the most important moments in your life, but I can promise that you won't be thinking about the interview. This isn't to say that you shouldn't want the interview or that it's not important at all to you now, but it is meant to relax you a bit before walking through the door. The second thing that's important is preparation. Of course, we need to prepare for an interview by doing research into the company. We all know this. But you also need to prepare to talk about yourself. Think about the 10 most important moments in your school life or your career which might be connected to the interview you're attending. After this, think about some adjectives which describe you based on your experiences. Then choose the 3 or 4 most interesting and be ready to turn them into stories. Many top executives say that if they've invited someone for an interview, they already know that this person is qualified for the job. They want to find out if they can work with you every day, all day, and if you'll fit on their team. But now we need to talk about something different, the day of the interview. You need to do 2 radical things here. The first is that you need to take all of these notes which you prepared the day before and throw them away. Get rid of them. When you go to the interview, you need to be so ready that you don't need your notes. You only need to be you. The second is to understand that the interview begins the second you enter the building. Very many times the person who makes the final decision consults their secretaries, their partners, and any other members of the team about their impression of you. This means that you need to be ready when you enter the building. Finally, you want to find a personal connection with your interviewer. This could be by looking at the desk or the clothes and trying to find what they are interested in. Maybe you have a shared interest you can discuss to make them like you more. If you can't find anything, then you can make some guesses. If your interviewer is a guy, maybe you can discuss your interests in boxing or sport. If it's a girl, she might be into ballroom dancing. The important thing is that it should be an interest you share and that you can talk about it in an authentic way.
Well, I hope you had time to find out the answers. Now we will move to the discussion. Question number 12, A, B or C. That was the overall meaning of the whole recording, and the answer was at the end of the first paragraph. Most confident and most successful. So the answer is B, to give listeners advice on how to succeed. When we predicted there was one word to be successful, remember. So we predicted the answer, you see. Next one, which of the following is true according to the speakers? Hopefully you have answer C. Interviewers are usually not a key moments in your lives. Interesting. Imagine yourself at 90 years old. You are going to go back at important things, times with friends, life experience, but I can promise you won't be thinking about the interview. That was the key phrase. Next one, about the numbers. How many key stories? Maybe you've heard number 10, moments from your life. But the answer is 3 or 4 most interesting stories. Number 15, what is the most important on the day of the interview? I'm sure you got answer A, to be prepared. And the last one here is, when speaking to the interviewer, it's important to. I bet you chose answer A, find common interests. There was some hobbies, pastimes mentioned to talk about with the interviewer. Very good. And now let's pay attention to a new listening exam survival algorithm. The pre-listening and while listening stages are the same, but after listening stage a bit changed. Now we have only 2 steps to follow being at the exam. Make your final decision about correct answers and copy the answers onto your answer sheet. So now we are at the exam and what to do or what not to do. First of all, be concentrated. Concentrate only on your exam. It might be hot, it might be cold, it might be whatever, but don't just be childish. Don't be self-pity. Be focused on your tasks and do your best. Don't forget the time. Allocate time for each question and keep an eye on the clock. Use your time. Never leave an exam earlier. Try to use your time given fully to complete and revise your answers. Don't get stuck. If you are not sure about the answer, how to answer the question, don't waste too much time at this point. Leave it now, skip it, and then come back a bit later and find the answer. Next one, don't rush your answer. When you've heard one word that was the same in the statements, don't think it is the right answer. Read entire task before rushing to write the answer. Often you might miss small clues to be presented with the misleading information. Guess. If you don't know the answer to some questions, try guess the meaning. If you can't, don't leave the blank answer sheet. Try to guess. And now, our final stage. Here are some useful links to resources you might use while your preparation. The first website is testportal.gov.ua, where there is very important information, everything concerning ZNO. It's in Ukrainian. Also, we have our обласний центр оцінювання якості освіти, Dnepr-test DPUA, where also you might find everything you need about ZNO. The next site is Osvita.ua. It's in Ukrainian. It's very good because you may find all the exams, tasks and questions, and you can do them and self-correct. Next thing, I love this website. It's English exam. All the Cambridge exams you may find here. All the levels, all the exams. Here you can find different topics to practice. Learn English British Council is a very nice resource, not only for listening, for all the skills. ESL Lab, I also love it very much. Look at this range of topics depending on the level. You can find easy level, medium or difficult. All of the tasks are with the tape scripts, with different activities and follow-up as well activities. Pay attention to this one. This is the first page of the website. Here you can see only 3 letters and the range of assignments you may try to do. So, you are on your way to success. You know what are you going to do. You know that soon the day X will come and you still have time to get ready. Don't waste it. Try to do your best. Try to use as many resources as you can. Try to do as many exercises as you can. Don't forget about self-evaluation. Think about why it was that way. Why should I choose this answer, not that one? You still have time to get ready. Follow the effective algorithm, easy to follow steps, and you will succeed at the exam. And 26th American President Theodore Roosevelt told us once, believe you can and you are halfway there. My wish for you is to keep calm and stay healthy, keep calm and work hard, and keep calm and good luck. And now there is a short video about English
іноземних мов. Суттєвою відмінністю ЗНО з іноземних мов є аудіювання. Саме цей компонент вирізняє тест з-поміж інших. А як же відбувається аудіювання? Після відкриття аудиторного пакета з матеріалами тестування і засвідчення його неушкодженості і комплектності, вам запропонують послухати короткий текст іноземною мовою, щоб ви змогли перевірити якість відтворення аудіозапису.
Для перевірки якості відтворення аудіозапису прослухайте фрагмент тексту іноземною мовою.
You know how everyone sometimes has bad days. Andy, can you tell us your story?
Зверніть увагу, якщо звук занадто тихий або занадто гучний, попросіть інструктора відрегулювати гучність, після чого засвідчіть якість звуку своїм підписом в аудиторному протоколі. Старший інструктор роздасть вам бланки відповідей і здійснить їхнє кодування. Після цього ви маєте перевірити якість друку тестових матеріалів та самостійно ознайомитися з інструкціями щодо роботи в зошиті. Разом зі старшим інструктором переконайтеся у правильності кодування бланків. Упродовж 150 хвилин ви виконуватимете завдання з аудіювання, читання, використання мови й письма. Виконання сертифікаційної роботи розпочинається з аудіювання. Під час аудіювання вікна в аудиторії мають бути зачиненими, щоб ніякі сторонні шуми вам не заважали. Після оголошення початку виконання сертифікаційної роботи інструктор увімкне аудіозапис. Ви маєте уважно слухати його і впродовж виконання цієї частини дотримуватися всіх інструкцій, які почуєте.
This is a listening test for the Ukrainian Independent External Evaluation. There are 3 tasks for the test. For each task of the test, there will be time for you to look through the questions and time for you to check your answers. At the start of each piece, you will hear this sound. You will have time at the end of the test to copy your answers onto the answer sheet. Remember, you must not speak during the test. And while you are listening, you can write your answers on the question paper of the testing notebook.
Роботу над частиною розуміння мови на слух завершено. Приступайте до виконання наступної частини тесту.
Thank you very much for your attention. Hope you succeed at your exams. Try your best, do your best, and you will pass it Very good.